Well, good afternoon, everyone. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and participants, as a warm welcome to the UGen Seminar 2025. Thank you for joining us today as Movement Day for Samiljeol. I'm Silo, your MC for today, and I'm so excited to have all of you here for this very important event termed Reshaping Value of Peace by Empowering People for One Dream, One Korea. Today, we will engage in insightful discussions with our esteemed speakers who will share their knowledge and experience in promoting peace and understanding in our diverse societies. However, we will invite you to open your heart and mind as we learn from one another and explore how we can work together to build a more peaceful world. Let us begin this journey of peace, collaboration, and empowerment. Thank you once again for being here, and let's make this seminar a memorable, unforgettable, and impactful experience. Now, we will invite everyone to listen to our national anthem, Indonesia Raya. You can sing along or simply enjoy the moment as we honor our country, Indonesia. Thank you for all that uplifting national anthem Indonesia Raya. Next, it's my pleasure to welcome our special guest, Mrs. Cynthia Rahmi Utami, who will give the opening remarks. Mrs. Cynthia Rahmi Utami as the General Manager of the Global Peace Foundation Indonesia, and we are so happy to have her with us today. Please join me in giving her a warm virtual welcome as she shares her thoughts and officially start our event. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Silo, one of our Global Peace Leadership Core cohort. So distinguished speakers, Dr. Ichsan Malik, Dr. Emanuel Pastreich, Regional Representative Ingill, Ms. Haeryoung Kim, and dear participants. As I welcome you all to this webinar, Korean Samiljeol for Peace 2025, Reshaping the Value of Peace by Empowering People for One Dream, One Korea. I do so much with gratitude. We are gathered here today to consider how we might support the continuous process of peace and unification on the Korean Peninsula, and remember a momentous historical movement, March 1st. The Global Peace Foundation Indonesia is strongly committed to fostering intercultural understanding, tolerance, and peace to empower communities. As a member of an international network, GPF Indonesia actively promotes cooperation between people, institutions, and groups to create a world in which we all live as one family under God. This vision emphasized the significance of respect and shared values in settling disputes and mending divisions. This year, increasing awareness of Korean reunification through cultural and educational efforts has been one of our main priorities. The Korean Dream campaign and our Shine Week program last January, inviting Korean youth to Indonesia, have already raised awareness of these significant issues. And today's webinar is an essential next step in those efforts. We intend to increase our knowledge of Korea's past and difficulties of reunification while also encouraging practical steps toward peace by including youth leaders, students, and experts. It was one of my amazing experience when I heard stories from the young Korean North Korean defectors, either when I was in Korea or when they come to Indonesia last time. And since then, I commit myself to support this reunification of North and South Korea. In addition to providing a forum for learning from speakers, this webinar promotes communication between young people, scholars, and peace activists. We all have a part to play in the communal effort needed to achieve peace, whether it's via advocacy, education, empowerment, or building understanding within our communities. Let's seize the chance to reaffirm our dedication and join a movement that aims to create peaceful and united future. I appreciate the speaker's contribution, our university partners, participants' participation, and of course, my team, GPF Indonesia team, our Global Peace Leadership Course cohort, and interns who organize it. I am looking forward to enlightening conversations that will motivate us all. Let's make this a significant and memorable occasion. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your insightful remarks, Mrs. Cynthia Rami Utami. Then thank you so much again for your inspiring words and warm welcome. We appreciate your insight and your commitment to promoting peace and understanding in our community. Your present here today add a great value to our event, and we are so grateful for your support. Thank you once again. Now, we are moving to our keynote speaker for today, Mr. Ingill, the regional representative of the Global Peace Foundation Asia Pacific. He is a dedicated professional with the extensive experience in volunteering, community development, and international organization. He was born in Korea in 1969. Mr. Ingill has spent nearly half his life in East Asia and a focus on traditional family frameworks and spirituality. In addition, he holds 4 degrees from Korea and the US and has worked with organizations such as FIFA, FVC, UNFEO, And now, as the Global Peace Foundation, as an Asia Pacific regional representative, Mr. Ingill will speak on the important topic of history of Samiljeol and cultivating peace value for United Korea. In his presentation, he will tell about the history of Samiljeol, what happened in 1919 between Korea and Japan, and also the history of Korea and its separation after 1950 to 1953. After that, he will discuss how we can align the value for United Korea with the vision of one family under God. Please join me in virtual warm Mr. Ingelra and his shares here inside with us today. Without further ado, the stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Hello, Mr.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your warm introduction. I was amazed. The number of participants today is almost 500 young leaders. I heard not only from Indonesia, but also from Philippines and Mongolia, I heard. Welcome, everyone. 안녕하세요.
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 Yes, 안녕하세요. I want to share a dream that young people will need to.
Sure.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes.
So let me start from the story, the country where I came from. In 1956, Korean Peninsula has faced very difficult situations. All of a sudden, the North Korea that represents Kim Il-sung. You know who is Kim Il-sung? Kim Il-sung is the Kim Jong-un's grandfather. Kim Il-sung, at that time, he invaded South Korea all of a sudden in support of Russia at the time. He invaded entire Korean peninsula. His desire is that he wants to control entire Korean peninsula. He wants to be a master over the Korean peninsula. And his desire is almost achieved, except the small areas nearby Busan. Maybe you heard about Busan from the Korean movie, Train to Busan. That very difficult moment, almost Kim Il-sung's desire has been achieved if he occupied that small area, Busan. But there is a God, and God works in mysterious way. In many nations, particularly 16 nations, called for their young citizens to protect innocent people in Korean Peninsula. And they sent hundreds of thousands of young people. They traveled from the countries to the countries in Korean Peninsula where they never been traveled before. And they, all the way from their countries, they went to Korea and they protect innocent Korean people's lives. And they stop the expansion of communist expansion in 1950s. So nowadays, almost 70 years has been spent, and I'm very much appreciating all the young souls, brave young people around the world, particularly in this webinar. I am sure so many countries who send their young people to the Korea. And without their contributions, it would not be possible for me to speak in front of you. Thank you very much once again for your support. When your grandparents, they were 16, even 17, 18, 19, very young ages. They sacrificed themselves. They sacrificed their families. Even they sacrificed their nation, and they sent their young people to protect Korean people's lives. I didn't realize what makes them possible to, what makes bring them to Korea, where they've never been. But I'm sure the later, when I visit all the countries around the world, particularly when I went to the Indonesia, I was so much surprised because of your great cultural heritages and very friendly, peace-loving people in Indonesia. And not only the Indonesia, but also all Asian countries around the world. There are so many people, they are really living and practicing the very deep ethos in your own countries. So in that sense, I really feel that we are all one brothers and sisters, one families under God. So I really believe that all the young people in those days, they really believes we are all one united families, one singular families to support each other, love each other, respect each other when we have a very difficult situations. Once again, thank you very much. But unfortunately, Korea has been divided more than 7 decades. And that desire when Kim Il-sung had is continued to carried by his grandson, who is Kim Jong-un. This is a very notorious young man. He is really threatened entire his people and his desire to occupy and master Korean Peninsula. He's still alive. So nowadays there are so many North Koreans, although they are not able to gather information from outside of the world, they got to heard from the news outside of the Korea. Most of the Korean people, they believe they are living in the paradise on earth, although there are very difficult situations in nowadays after, particularly in the 1990s, Great Famine happens. And then also recently during the COVID, whole country has been, all the border has been closed. So there's no trade. And on top of that, international sanction imposed to the North Korea. So the economical wise was very, very difficult situations, people to survive. But although that difficult situations, people believes that this country is the paradise. Why? Because their dictator, their great leader Kim Jong-un, and it's not Kim Jong-un himself, and his father Kim Jong-il, and his grandfather Kim Il-sung. These 3 dictators, these 3 great leaders is one entity. Although Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il is passed away, they are watching you always above in the heaven, in the spirit world. So they strongly believes their great leaders are dealing with them in the best way, and then their country is the best country. But nowadays, that everything has been possible because all information from outside to North Korea is not possible to get in. So, but in South Korea, there are 30,000 North Korea defectors already escaped from the North Korea. They cross over the rivers and they face life and death situations. And then they all the way from North Korea and they found a country, South Korea, to settle their lives. So 30,000 people are now settling down and living abundant life and enjoying freedom and human rights in South Korea. According to them, in North Korea nowadays, there are so many people start to watching Korean dramas. Do you like a Korean drama? Of course, right? Here's the Korean drama, Crash Landing on You. This is the drama I like the most. But this drama is not famous for you guys, but this is also famous for North Korea. But you know, in North Korea, if you watch the Korean drama, then you're gonna be executive. Recently, the Kim Jong-un made a special law that pretending protect traditional, beautiful traditional North Korean values. They made a law, and those who watch Korean drama, and they will execute those people who watch the Korean drama, who sing Korean song, who dance Korean dance. Recently, when I watched the news, the young high school students, they are sentenced, life sentence in labor camp because they watched the Korean drama. And they were open court in front of the whole their friends, peer groups, thousands of peer groups, and they sentenced it like that. And then Kim Jong-un, the reason why he made that special law, and then he explained, Korean drama, Korean culture, dance, song is a cancer that destroys beautiful North Korean traditions. Can you imagine? But one of my friends who were special police who control and every single house and whether they check whether they are watching Korean drama or not. But this North Korean special policeman, one fine day, he came back after he's checking all the houses. He came to the offices, and he came to the office earlier than usual. So what he found when he opened office door, his boss was watching Korean drama, you know. So he was shocked, and both of them couldn't speak anything, speechless. And he put his hand on the pocket, you know, and then he grabs pistol, right? And his boss came to bring the laptop computer, and he gave it to his this man, and he told him, please bring it your home and watch it. So this man brought this notebook computer, and he just rushed to his home, and he clogged all the doors and clogged all the windows, and he started to watch Korean drama. You know what happens? He couldn't stop watching all the Korean episodes. And he spent a day, a night, a week, a month. And then finally, there's no more episode, no more drama, movies he can watch because he watched all the dramas. And he need to wait another episode release next week. So he decided to escape from North Korea to South Korea. The only reason is he want to watch Korean drama on time. That is the situation in nowadays in the North Korea. So why I share these things? Yes, this is going to be the cancer to destroy the beautiful North Korean cultures. In a way, I agree somehow, because I also, if I want to watch Korean drama, then I cannot stop to watch all the Korean dramas. So if I have a important business the next day, that really destroys my all the preparations, because I need to watch all the episodes until the end of the episode, right? So anyway, it's a joke, but now the North Korea has been changed somehow. So I guess the point I want to make is we have to find out how we can help to liberate North Korean peoples under that difficult situations, how we can embrace them, how we can also bring the opportunities to bring unity, North and South Korea, and then into the one countries. Nowadays, there are very, very difficult situations, not only happening in the north, in the Korean Peninsula itself, and outside of the Korean Peninsula, there are so many chaotic situations we are facing. See, the rising threat of the statist countries like China, Russia is also another biggest threat to all the countries around the world, particularly in these former communist countries. They deny existence of God. They don't believe in God. And then they themselves, they determine all human rights and freedom comes from their authorities. That is the countries in China and Russia. And nowadays, Russia, the worst thing is the Putin invite North Korean soldiers, the Russia invasion to the Ukraine. So many people every week, thousands of people, innocent young people, Ukrainian people and Russian people, not only these two countries people, but also all the young people to engage it. And particularly nowadays, North Korean people also participating as soldiers. They are killed without any proper purposes. There is a very, very miserable situations. So in the 20th century, people observed the major world war has happened 2 times in European continent. And now the Ukraine war, invasion by the Russia, it causes another World War III, and then the state who played very, very important role behind of this, the European conflict, is the country none other than North Korea. This North Korea is also, maybe many of you already aware, in the Middle East, they support financially the Iranian nuclear ambitions. So this Middle East, as we all know, past several decades, there's a huge conflict between 2 major religions, between the Christian, the Jews, and the Muslims. So now the participation and engage behind this North Korea is also triggered very, very miserable situations in the Middle East, and they pour the gas on the fight on the Middle East. So North Korea is not just confined in the Korean Peninsula. It also triggers the major global securities, and it disabled and very much threatened global security in the European countries and the Middle East. And then I can say, in the Southeast Asia, a lot of fightings and tensions escalated because of the expansion of these Chinese territorial ambitions as well. But nowadays, not only this critical threat made by these statist countries in this, but also if you look at these Korean situations nowadays, if you watch Korean news every day, and you see the unstable situations of the democracies. In the democracies, in history of the democracies, democracy has been exist from the very beginning of the human history. And famous democracies comes from the period of the Greek, the police, Athens. But that is the system of the democracies. But the modernized democracies introduced by the United States of America 200 years ago has been made a very, very different concept of democracies. And historically, before the U.S. establishment of the USA and after that, because the Declaration of Independence of the United States clearly stated that all human rights and freedom is endowed by the Creator. So that's why the second President of the United States stated that these democracies developed by the United States cannot be applicable to the many, many nations, because this democracy is connected with the moralities and the faith-based communities, because they believe that all human rights and freedom is endowed by the creators. But nowadays, Indonesia, Korea, and in even many other countries, imperfectly they adopted these systems. But the important thing is, even the democracies, if we are not aware of this important part of the democracies connected with the divine being, we are all connected. Our human rights came from our creator. If we ignore this part of the democracies, democracy remains a tyranny of majorities, a mob rule of disasters in many, many countries. That is what is happening nowadays in South Korea and many other countries, if you can watch international news. So ironically, North Korea and South Korea actually showing very, very difficult, challenging we are facing. North Korea represent communism countries, and South Korea represent democracies. But North Korea also represent very, very evil example of these statist ambitions and desires. At the same time, South Korea also showing destroy the true meaning of the democracy is connected with the spiritualities. So unification in North and South Korea is not only the matter of the people of two different Koreas, but this is issues where we are facing all around the world. Even Indonesia, all the countries around the world are facing similar situations and threats. So if we bring these two Koreas with a more strong shared vision and values, and we create a new nations that can embrace all the ideologies. They can embrace each other's and brothers and sisters of families. That is the countries we need. We need a country with a very, very aspired vision and principles. Korea has a 5,000 years of history. 5,000 years ago, there's a God. There's a God, and then there's a famous story of our founding stories. But long story short, our founding father want to build a nation. That nation is the nation that can benefit all the humanities. And that ethos, we are saying, 홍익 인간. Can you say 홍익 인간? If you share this Korean terminology, 홍익 인간, to your Korean friend, they will be blown away. How do you know the 홍익 인간? 홍익 인간 is the word, like I said, just roughly translate to the English, benefiting all humanities. So in 5,000 years ago, our Korean people, first, we are empowered by God, and then the God sent his son on the earth, and he want to build a nation that is based on this 홍익 인간 ethos. So no wonder Korea 5,000 years ago, we are surrounded by many, many nations. Particularly, we are sandwiched between China and Japan. But 5,000 years of time, they occupied, our neighboring countries invaded in our country 996 times. Can you imagine? 5,000 years of time. Per year, several times they are invaded in our Korean peninsula. But no wonder, we never invade our neighboring country at all. Why? Because in our DNA, our people we were born to serving others, serving other nations, not serving or not attacking, or not attack neighboring countries. That is the ethos in our DNA. Few days ago is March 1st, 1991, March 1st. That was a day when we occupied officially 35 years, but we generally say 40 years of time. 40 years we are occupied by Japan, while Indonesia was occupied by Japan almost 4 years, right? But we are occupied around 40 years. It was so severe. We couldn't speak Korean. We changed our names. We lost our countries at all. But in March 1st, all the people at the time, 250,000 people, almost quarter of the people came to the street. Children, baby, your woman, grandparent, grandfather, grandmother, all the people, all generations come to the street, and they just claiming this is a country we want to build a nation that can benefit all humanities. And they made the Declaration of Independence, and that Declaration of Independence is saying, "Oh, Japan, please allow us to fulfill our vision that our ancestors endowed us." And we carry that vision, which is we want to build a nation that can benefit all humanities. So their March 1st movement, all the people in the country, they really, do the independent movement against brutality of the Japanese occupations. And they really want to build a country and also encourage Japan. Please, Japan, you also join us to build a nation and support each other's to make a environment, civilizations that can really benefit all humanities. That is the spirit of the March 1st movement that comes from our ethos of 홍익인간. That becomes nowadays, I can say, Korean dream. We want to build a nation still. Although we are divided 70 years, we want to really build a nation. That was the aspiration of our ancestors, and build a nation that can benefit all humanities. But I went to Indonesia. I came to Indonesia. I was really surprised. I was electrified because I found a very, very, very similar ethos what we have like 홍익인간. That's none other than Panchashila, right? The Panchashila number one. We are living in one God. There's a God. You already understand, and then you are endowed. You are living with that spiritual, profound connectivity with your creators. And number two, we are just human beings, but that is the human beings connected with God. We are all image of God. That's why we love each other. We respect each other. When we create families that God can dwell on, right? And then number three is one Indonesia, unity of Indonesia. That is somehow not individual, not just a family enjoy that values, but it should be shared with all the people in these countries. So it can be the unity of the Indonesians. And then the number four, democracies. I talk about nowadays corrupted democracies. But these democracies requires inner wisdom to listen the voice of God, voice of the divine, voice of our collective wisdom that is connected with God. And then finally, with these all circumstances, you can achieve social justice for all Indonesian people. How powerful Panchashila you have, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is I'm sure this is the Panchashila. This Panchashila is not the Panchashila you enjoyed by your own Indonesian people, but this Panchashila should be the Panchashila for not both Indonesian people, but also people around the world. Why? Because of this is not just confined in Indonesia archipelago, but this is the universal shared values, principles, and aspirations of all the people around the world. So, ladies and gentlemen, all the young leaders, this is going to be the Indonesian dream. That Indonesian dream, I know the golden age of your great goal of 2050. You will build a world-class nation, Indonesia, around the world. That nation should start from this profound ethos of Panchashilas that is connected with the highest spiritualities in this world. And that is also connected, if you go to the Korea, it's going to be the 홍익인간. If you are in the Filipinos, this is going to be the Makadios, Makatao, Makakalikasan, Makapansa. If you are India, this is a Vasudhaiva Kutumbaka. This is, if you are the African, this is the vision of Utumbum. So all this dream is connected with, we are all one family under God. With this greatest vision, we can unite. We can create a new civilizations that can really support each other, inspire each other. This year, 2025, in August 15, you know what August 15 we celebrate in Korea? This is Independence Day, which is just 2 days later, August 17, is Indonesia's Independence Day, right? So 1945, when Japan signalized their surrender, immediately Korea, August 15th is the Independence Day. Then 2 days later, Indonesia also declared that is Independence Day. So now Korea, we want to make that Independence Day very, very meaningful. We want to invite all the Indonesian young people. Do you like to come to South Korea? And we will have a huge rally near DMZ where you can see North Korea. And then we go there to DMZ and we will shout, we will proclaim that we are all one family under God, so that all the people in North Korea will listen, the voice we will make. And then they realize we are all one united family under God. They share the values, visions. There is a hope it can overcome threat of rise of this communist threat in nowadays. Also, it can cover destroyed Western cultures. And instead, we are preserving and developing our own beautiful cultures that can really benefit all humanities. So, all young leaders in Indonesia, I'm really encourage you to come to Korea. We welcome you come to the DMZ, and we hand in hand, we march towards North Korea, and we are proclaiming once again, we are all one family under God. And please come to South Korea and inspire South Korean people. And you teach them the meaning, the value of the Panchashila, and you ask and teach and inspire Korean people to live and to unite, bring two countries into one country. Not only South Korea, Indonesia, you have another privileges where any other countries not have. You can also travel North Korea. Have you noticed that? You can travel to the Pyongyang in North Korea, and you can go to the Kim Il-sung University or many prestigious universities, and you can inspire North Korean young people, and you can also giving them inspiration by bringing your Panchashila ethos, and then encourage them and awaken them. We have Hongik-Inkan ethos. They will be surprised. They will be blown away. That is the responsibility, and that is somehow great energy, power that Indonesian young people has. You can go both Pyongyang and Seoul. You can go both North Korea and South Korea, and you are the instrument bringing these two people into one country. That is the desire of all the Korean people who want to build a one nation under God, based on the Hongik-Inkan ethos. Thank you very much for listening my presentation today. And today is in commemoration of the celebration of the Samiljeol, that is the March 1st movement. And we, as you independent 70 years ago, and then you created and built and transforming this nation. It's beautiful, and God bless the nation. And please help us and encourage us and support us each other to bring peace into Korean Peninsula by having very powerful ethos can make these two countries into one, and then all the countries around the world will celebrate true meaning of the independence, which was happening in 1945, but nowadays true meaning of the independence will be celebrated people around the world by working all young people together. Particularly, I encourage you, the Indonesian young people, to join us to bring this division end. Thank you very, very much. Terima kasih. 감사합니다.
감사합니다. Thank you so much for insightful information, Mr. Lingara. So thank you very much for your insightful presentation on this beautiful history and Samiljeol cultivating peace value for United Korea. Your work on the Korean history and the importance of unity are truly inspiring. Additionally, we appreciate your commitment to promoting peace and understanding, and we look forward to applying these ideas in our own communities. Thank you once again for sharing knowledge with us. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce our gorgeous moderator today for today's discussion. Kirana, as part of the Global Peace Leadership Indonesia, and Puspita or Kirana is a dedicated student with a strong interest in social development and community engagement. Additionally, she has actively sought opportunities to develop her skill through various organizational roles, volunteer work, and practical experiences. Kirana has demonstrated her ability to take initiative, work collaboratively, and contribute to program development and implementation. Lastly, she is a proactive individual with a passion for making a positive impact. Before we are going to our moderator, I just want to say thank you so much for everyone, because it's really, really unpredictable, because if the number of the participant is more than 500 people from various countries and several provinces throughout Indonesia. And also welcome to Philippines and other country, and also Korea and other delegates. And without further ado, I will deliver the times and place for our gorgeous moderators today, Puspita, Kirana. The stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, Silo, for your warm welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. I am really thrilled to be your moderator today. My name is Puspita Kirana Hidayat, and today is such a good day to learn more about peace, Korean reunification, and what can we do to contribute. Our discussion will be divided in 3 sessions with 3 different speakers from different backgrounds. We are honored to have our outstanding speaker with us. Welcome on board Dr. Emanuel Pastreich, Haeryoung Kim, and Dr. Ichsan Malik. And without further ado, let's get started and learn together along the way so we can share the same dream, the one Korea dream, at the end of the session. So, and don't worry, you'll have your chance to ask your question in the Q&A session after all of the presentation. And for the first presentation, we will have Dr. Emanuel Pastreich. Before that, I'll give you a short explanation about him. So, Dr. Emanuel Pastreich is the director of the Asia Institute. He is an expert in international relations, Asian studies, and cultural exchange. He has held positions at prestigious institutions like Yale University and Kyunghee University, and has advised government and organizations on international collaboration and the sustainable development. He has dedicated his career to promoting dialogue and exchange between different cultures. And today, Dr. Pastreich will give us an explanation about how cultural value and inclusive dialogue can make peace in the Korean Peninsula. Let's pay attention and give him a warm welcome. Please join me, Doctor.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I hope that you can hear me okay. I have a few thoughts on this very, very important occasion. I want to say first, the Declaration of Independence from the Japanese Empire, put out on March 1st, 1919 by the Korean people, was inspired by the American Declaration of Independence from the British Empire, and that declaration stated unambiguously, quote, "We take this step so as to guarantee that our children enjoy life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in accord with the awakening consciousness of this new era. This will assure us and our children freedom from future oppression and help us realize the full potential of our national aspirations and secure blessings and happiness for all time. That brave statement of anti-imperialism and anti-colonialism inspired the May 4th movement in China and motivated resistance to Japanese colonialism in Manchuria and Shanghai, to British imperialism in India, to French imperialism in Vietnam, to American imperialism in the Philippines, and to Dutch imperialism in Indonesia. The key to success for the Samiljeol leaders of the independence movement was not money or weapons, but rather cultural and spiritual self-determination, the realization of the potential for a reshaping of the world order so that it would be devoted to peace and culture after the horrific destruction that resulted from European imperialism in the First World War. Now we face a similar and equally dangerous situation, if perhaps this time empires have been replaced by banks and private equity. We must stand with the Koreans and bring Korea together as one, so as to end the wars for profit and to establish a lasting peace for everyone without any bogus ceasefires. Our movement to create peace and dialogue through culture and through spiritual understanding will serve as the foundation for a new Asia, an Asia for Asians, one in which the United States, my home country, is a partner, but a new Asia that holds up high its own culture and values true education, the betterment of our society, and that does not focus on plans for war and destruction. The words of the Koreans to the Japanese in 1919 could well have been spoken by the youth of Asia to other countries today. They stood up at that time and declared, quote, "Our part is to influence the Japanese government, which is dominated by the old idea of brute force, so that it will change its behavior and act in accord with the principles of justice and truth. Japan can be a leader of the Orient instead of the conqueror that she has become at the present time. A new era emerges before our eyes, wherein the old order of force has vanished, and out of the travail of the past, a new world of righteousness and truth is born." Very inspiring words. We must start with a dialogue that affirms our shared culture and that does not assume that the unfamiliar is threatening. The fundamental question is, what is it that makes us human, that makes us Asian, that makes us all Korean? Remember that for as long as Korea is divided, and that division feeds weapons and profit seekers, so also will we also be divided into rich and poor, into left and right, into any number of identity traps for the mind that keep us from coming together as one for peace for our children. Indonesia is a remarkable union of diverse cultures. Indonesia is a model for our future, for a United Nations that moves beyond its current limitations and that embraces people, not just money or technology, not just banks and corporations. And Korea must come together too, just as Indonesia has, and the United States must can learn from your wise model. The Latin phrase employed to describe the creation of the United States of America through the Declaration of Independence from the British Empire is e pluribus unum. That means out of many, one. That means that power and moral righteousness come from inclusiveness and unity. That ideal is the opposite of some cynical forces who try to create divisions between us, to try and create hate for Muslims as some alien civilization which must be fought. In Chinese, the term is he er butong, which means come together in harmony, but do not become the same. And in Korean, as Mr. Ra noted, the ancient philosophy states Hongik Ingan, which means extending benefits to all of humanity. All of humanity means all religions and all people, down to the beggars in the street, down to the women forced into humiliation to feed their families. All of these traditions that I mentioned are present in the Samiljeol independence movement, a brave movement to oppose exploitation around the globe. Therefore, standing at a similar place in the historical process today, granted we have risen up one rung in the Hegelian spiral staircase, we cannot look the other way as our brothers in Gaza are sacrificed for profits of IT corporations. We must come together as one, the peoples of Indonesia, the peoples of Korea, and all the peoples of our precious earth. We can only reduce conflict by creating a society that values people, that values nature, that values the wisdom from the ancient past. This is the essence of Hongik Ingan, and that is the essence of true spiritual independence. Profits and benefits gained at the expense of others bring only division and not the spiritual unity that we all so crave. We will come together, starting with you, with your brave efforts, and we will create a new Indonesia, which is in fact an ancient Indonesia. And that new and ancient Indonesia will join hands with Korea to bring about a new Asia and bring about together a new earth as one through the actions of devoted people like yourselves who follow their hearts and their consciences. Thank you very much for this opportunity to address you today. It's a great honor for me, and I look forward to our future discussions.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Pastreich, for your insightful remarks. And I'd like to highlight it that the key to independence is the cultural value that people share, not the weapon that they use. And the importance of dialogue is actually great to make peace in everywhere, in every country in the world. And what is it to make us human? It's actually the shared value. All right. And to explore further this discussion, I would like to invite Haeryoung Kim. Okay. But before that, I would like to share Haley resume. Haeryoung Kim or Haley is a PhD candidate at Korea University GSIS and has led the Korean Dream Crew and under Global Peace Youth Korea for 3 years, driving peace project with young leaders worldwide. Since 2017, she has been actively involved in various aspects of Korean Peninsula affairs, including policy, cultural events, and international cooperation. Her research focuses on South Korea's energy security and unification in the context of US and China relation. And Haley will tell us about the youth engagement on supporting One Korea. Let's focus our mind again and give her a warm welcome.
Thank you, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
It's clear. It's
Yes.
clear.
Yes, very clear.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, and also is my PDF showing all right?
Yes, we can see.
Thank you so much. Okay, selamat siang semuanya. Selamat siang semuanya. Thank you. I can't believe more than like 560 people gathered here to hear about and talk about Korean Peninsula and peace in East Asia, Southeast Asia, Northeast Asia. So my name is Haeryoung Kim, and I am the Secretary General of Global Peace Youth Korea. It's a great honor to be here today to talk about the role of youth in supporting One Korea and how youth engagement drives peace building efforts. So like Mr. Ingill and Professor Emanuel, Dr. Emanuel said, we're living in a historic moment. The Korean Peninsula has been divided for over 70 years. And of course, March 1st and March 1st is a everybody gathered to support the liberation. And although South Korea is liberated, oh, somebody's drawing on my PDF. It's more like a half done liberation because our family and friends, brother and sister up there is still suffering under Kim regime, the dictatorship. And yeah, so while political and diplomatic efforts continue, real change requires the active participation of young people. So today I will share three key points on overview for the One Korea global movement and how culture is shaping the cause. Second, how youth engagement, especially through the Korean Dream Crew that I'm leading, drives peace building. And thirdly, the impact of youth involvement in making One Korea a reality. So let's start with an overview for One Korea global movement. So the One Korea global movement is an international campaign advocating for the peaceful unification of Korea based on shared identity, history, and a common vision for the future. And while I'm let's talk about this later. So as a culture as a driving force, as everybody know, culture is one of the most powerful ways to bring people together. And the One Korea movement has successfully used music and entertainment to raise awareness and inspire action. So, for example, the One Korea song campaign, as you can see, it's actually 10 years ago. And now this year, we're planning for another music campaign. But 10 years ago, a global anthem for unification was created in collaboration with K-pop artists. Do you see Jungkook? This is real, true story. BTS Jungkook actually joined our campaign. And the song carries a powerful message of hope and unity. And there was 1K concerts. These large-scale concerts feature top K-pop artists who use their influence to spread the vision of a unified Korea. And these concerts have actually reached millions of young people worldwide. And lastly, this is the ongoing campaign, the One Korea Support Signature Campaign. This is a grassroots campaign encouraging people from all backgrounds to simply sign a pledge in support of unification. So actually, just like Dia mentioned, during the Shine Week, we actually brought 8 North Korean defectors and 2 young people born and raised in South Korea all together and visited Istiklal Mosque and during the car-free day at Jakarta. We actually did a peaceful march saying we support peace on a Korean peninsula. And while preparing for this joint event called Korea Young Leaders Assembly, I actually was really shocked because unification and human rights is not political, and so is unification. But it seemed that unification issue of Korea is very, very political, I guess, because maybe Indonesia has both embassy of North Korea and South Korea together. But it's really it's a really humane agenda, actually. It's I just wanted to emphasize that it's youth-led peace movement for unification is actually it's more like people over politics. So these cultural initiatives prove that young people connect with social movements through art, music, and digital engagement. During this Car-Free Day, Jakarta Shine Week, actually, we had such a good time all together. Of course, young university students from UI University, young people gathered all together. And you know what? One of the testimony of North Korean defector who actually came to Korea seeking liberty, freedom just last year, he actually said that during this Shine Week, we did this thing called Shine Dance. We danced all together. And this one North Korean defector, his name's Il-hyuk. Mr. Il-hyuk actually said it was beautiful. dancing all together and bringing music, bringing people all together for a peaceful cause. And he actually said it would be great if we can gather more often and do some sports together, like football. Anyway, it was very special hearing from him, North Korean. There's something special about North Korean defector. So yeah. However, culture alone is not enough. We need direct youth engagement to create real impact. So that's where the Korean Dream Crew, KDC, comes in. So the Korean Dream Crew, KDC, short for as a KDC, is a youth-driven initiative under Global Peace Youth Korea that I'm currently working. It empowers young people to actively participate in One Korea global movement through three main areas, for example, education, advocacy, grassroots action, and global networking and cultural exchange. This year, it's more like GPY Korea, the organization I'm working as a Secretary General, we recruit 30 to 40 young people every year. And this year is the third batch, third cohort. And so going back to education and awareness, KDC provides youth with the historical context and importance of Korean unification. We organize seminars, online discussions, and storytelling campaigns. And not only that, as we KDC act as a peace creator. Actually, this peace creator thing, GPY Korea got inspired hugely by Indonesian team, the GPF Indonesia, because GPF Indonesia was doing an amazing job on TikTok and Instagram Reels. So engaging, so fun, so humorous. So yeah, KDC members create Reels twice a month for spreading Korean Dream vision. You can actually go check the, I'm gonna show you the QR that you can scan and take a look later on. And grassroots action and advocacy. KDC members lead projects that promote dialogue between generations, North and South Koreans, of course, and international young people. So we organize festivals, seminar, volunteering for North Korean defectors because we cannot directly go to North Korea, unfortunately. So we're focusing on North Korean people who came to Korea and trying to settle. And lastly, KDC connects young leaders worldwide to promote Korean unification as a global movement. For example, we host Model United Nations, an international forum on One Korea. And we do, for the sub-program, we do cultural performances, international conferences, and social media campaigns, and so on. So through these activities, KDC transforms young people from passive observers into active peace builders, just like you guys. But what impact does this have in reality? Let's take a look. Oh wait, this is the testimonies of random, not random, anonymous KDC crew. So it's really amazing that actually South Korean KDC members, they learn a lot from people who are from abroad, like for example, international students studying in Korea. Also KDC members who is a foreigner, that they feel a little bit ashamed that as a Korean, they were not enoughly aware of this issue, unification or peace, security thing in Korean peninsula. Because when we gather, I don't know why, maybe is it an Asian thing? Is it only Korean thing? I don't know. But foreign international students ask more questions and they tend to know a little bit more about this divided situation. So yeah, that's one really big impact. And people, when finishing the Korean Dream Crew program, they grow. So they have more their perspective grows, their sense of leadership and ownership grows. So it's a very good program, and there's this ministry called Ministry of Unification. I believe no other country has this or governmental bureau called Ministry of Unification. So our program also got KDC also got sponsored by Ministry of Unification last year as well. Yeah. So youth engagement is already creating real change in the movement for One Korea. Here's some examples. So youth empowerment, of course, like I just mentioned, and growing global awareness. KDC-led initiatives have reached thousands of young people worldwide, sparking meaningful discussions on Korean unification, thanks to social media, actually. And our digital campaigns featuring K-pop culture and social media storytelling have gained international attention, not only not solely because Korea is doing okay job, but thanks to GPF Indonesia, GPF Philippines, and GPF United States, all around the world. It's a teamwork. It's amazing. And KDC brings together South Korean youth, North Korean defectors, and international supporters. We are bridging the divides to break stereotypes and build trust. And lastly, policy and civic engagement. Many young KDC leaders have gone to advocate for unification policies, influencing decision makers. Like I just mentioned, Ministry of Unification actually directly contacted KDC, and they invited us to some international forum called Democracy Summit, actually, last year. So the bottom line is, when young people take ownership of the future, real change happens. The One Korea movement is not just a political issue, it's a humane issue, and the next generation has the power to shape it. So in conclusion, One Korea global movement is a vision that requires the energy, passion, and dedication of young people. So through the Korean Dream Crew, we are proving that youth engagement is not just beneficial, it is essential to the peace building process. It's essential. And I encourage all of you to think about how you too can contribute to this movement, whether through education, advocacy, cross-cultural collaboration. And by the way, the Korean Dream Crew is a local program happening in Korea. So you guys will be so welcome. If you have ever any chance to come to Korea and study in Korea, please apply for KDC. I'll be here. And other than that, we have a program at Model United Nations program starting from July 25th to 29th, and also on August 14th to the Model United Nations happening in Seoul at Swiss Grand Hotel. And August 14th and 15th, we have a Korean Dream 10 million campaign going on at Han River. And yeah, there will be the concert will take place, and I would love to see you, every one of you, in person in Korea. And yeah, together. Boop. Our great Dr. Hyunjin Preston Moon, the founder of GPF, said, "How you think and perceive determines your reality." So the best way to predict the future is to make your own future. Yeah. So together we can make the Korean dream a reality. Thank you very much. Terima kasih for listening. And this is our Instagram QR code for Korean Dream Crew, KDC, and GPY Korea. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Haley, for sharing your inspirable words. And what I get from you, I think we could all agree on that culture is the common thing that can bring people together, especially like music that you shared before, the One Dream, One Korea song. And then ownership to one dream could make changes in the future to happening. So after that, I think we could hear another perspective from Dr. Ichsan Malik. And before that, I would like to tell you a little bit about Doctor. So, Dr. Ichsan Malik is a leading expert in peace psychology and conflict resolution, with a Doctor of Peace Psychology from the University of Indonesia, and Dr. Ichsan has extensive experience in facilitating peace-building programs and advising on conflict management across Indonesia and the Asia-Pacific region. He is a sought-after speaker at numerous national and international conferences, demonstrating his commitment to sharing knowledge and fostering peace. And right now, Dr. Ichsan will provide us with the information about the involvement of Indonesian youth on promoting peace in Korean Peninsula. We are honored to have him here today to share his insight. So, to Dr. Ichsan, please join us.
Thank you, Puspita. Good afternoon, everybody, and colleagues. Thank you very much to invite me for the important meeting this afternoon. And then it is also the second time for me to speak with for Global Peace Foundation. And I have been to Pyongyang in 2015. Yeah, meeting with the people there, and then also maybe a third time going to Seoul, also to discuss about the peace process. But I believe, yeah, that people-to-people reconciliation is the solution for Korean. Not we call the track one, or it is the political solution, or sometime also in either the second track. But I'm really believe that the movement from below, or people-to-people reconciliation, is very important, and the culture is really fixed with this method. And then I would like to see the possibility of the youth from Indonesia and also from the south and also the north to join action or something like that. Okay, if we can see that the characteristic of the character of the youth is the important period. It is the period of the creativity. It is the period of the inclusivity. It is also the period with the spirit of teamwork or something like that. It is the characteristic of youth or adolescent. It is the same, not only in Indonesia, not only in Korea, but in the whole the world. The characteristic is the same. And then also we all know that two role model for the youth. The first model is I put the Malala Yousafzai. She won the Nobel Peace Prize at 7 years old. It is in 2012. Malala is advocating the girl education in Pakistan, also in Afghanistan. It is one role model. And the second role model, we can see that the Greta Thunberg, 15 years old, ninth grader in the school, who led the school strike in Sweden. It had with climate change issues. I think Malala is advocating for education for the girl, And then the Greta Thunberg is advocating the climate change. And then it is time for us also to see the youth become the advocate for the peace process or peace initiative or something like that. And I'm agree that Indonesian and Korean youth can lead their peer to promoting peace, even acting as peace mediator. This is the youth position. And then the second, how can we achieving the peace? Okay, next, please. Yeah. We can see that, River with the expert, I put the long and break. He say like that. We can achieve peace with the novelty, with the voluntariness, and then awareness about the vulnerability and also the consistency of this process. And then I think the novelty, we can see that the more novelty is very important. We can see that the peace is process and also the goal. Maybe we cannot find the goal, but we can push the process. The sustainability of the process is very important. That's why we needed novelty. We needed creativity. We needed new approach, new initiative to achieve peace. And then the second element is very important is voluntariness. It is very important. The spirit of voluntariness is very important because sometimes with the spirit of voluntariness, we can see that like the Gandhi activities or the peace activities like because they do because it is motivated from the deep because it is the voluntariness activities is very important. And then the third, the peace process is very vulnerable, fragile, very fragile. And then we should, to be careful with this process. And then the third is we call the long break called the irrevocability or non-contingency. Because, maintaining consistency in the peace process is very important. That is, I think, something we can underline for the youth because youth is more vulnerable and also the consistency sometimes is problem. But I believe about the novelty and also the voluntariness. And the second, maybe we can also put attention with the expert Galtung. Galtung say that peace process not only minimizing the violence, but the objective for peace is the positive peace. It is the socio-political system and security work optimally, respecting the human right, ensuring justice and participation for all. But of course, it is very ideal, very very ideal for us. But I just underline like the participation and the justice and the human right is very important in the peace goals and something like that. That is, I mean, there's some element we should aware in achieving of peace. Okay, and then the third, I would like also share with you in the intractable conflict, like in Korea. Also, intractable conflict means sometimes unnegotiable conflict because long time period of conflict in South and North Korea, also so many hostility. It is very complex situation. It is very complex conflict. And with the complexity like this, requiring the critical and integrated and complex thinking, not black and white thinking or right or wrong thinking. And then that's why we needed many creativity, many new initiative, new creativity to achieving peace. Because and we should I mean rejected the black and white thinking like that. But we can see that the authoritarian leaders often thinking black and white. And then the democratic leader understanding that conflict cannot be resolved by blaming one side. We can see that in the conflict, we cannot blaming one side. All of the group of people in South, in North, is the victim of the conflict. Yeah, not only South, not only Korea, but both of them become the victim in conflict. That's why we can reject the black-white thinking. Also, black and white thinking can lead us to scapegoating and groupthink. Scapegoating means blaming another side, and another side is the perpetrator. We can see that, and we are the victim, something like that. And with this, also we can see that in the South and the North also, it look like they compete, become the victim. I call the competitive victimhood. They compete, they are become the victim of the conflict in the Korea, something like that. We needed the creativity in thinking. Yeah, okay. And then the fourth, I would like to share with you. Okay, next, please. The role of youth in promoting peace. Peace education is very, very hopefully to see to Indonesia and Korea and South and North to conducting the activities like this. And then conduct joint peace education activities in middle school in Pyongyang and school and Seoul. I mean, the education is a crucial method for promoting peace, aiming to build a world view in the student that reflect peace and prepare them for peaceful era. It is also develop the tolerance, empathy, and critical thinking with the student. The peace education is very hopeful. Yeah, I see in Belfast, uh, in the school, the Catholic school, and also the Christian school, they conducting peace education. It is full. It is a very progress opportunity. And I think also is very important for South and North middle school to conducting the peace education. The second, of course, the social media. Social media, because the youth is very, is very familiar with the social media. Social media also is very important. And the third is publicizing the peace meeting. Is also very important. The information about the peace meeting, it can arising the motivation for us. And then the peace meeting should be publicized to both conflicting group, to garner broader support as a people is very important. And then it is very good activities to publicizing the peace meeting to around north and also to south. And then the fourth is quite interesting, is writing a history book of Korea. When I'm coming to Pyongyang, I see the deep Korea. But when I'm going to Seoul, I see the global Korea. And then it is very, sometimes it's the diversity between the South and North. But they have the same story in the last. They have same story like, before the speaker said, Hongik Ingam, something like that. Or the cheong or anything that the traditionally the vet. The activities to writing book is very important for the young people to see the same story in the lives, and also to see the future. The future. We can learn the history to set up the future. That's why the fourth, the writing history book is also very important. Maybe we can see that the possibility in Seoul and also in the Pyongyang. And then the last, I think the cultural exchange. Yeah, like Kim before said that about the cultural exchange, the music, the something like that. And maybe also, I don't know, because maybe join film production or TV program or book translation, maybe also art group visit and cultural exhibition can share something like that. And then for the closing note, I think there is nothing that youth cannot do. Their imagination about peace maybe may surpass that the adult. Youth should be given the opportunity to lead peace promotion. They are free from political, economic interests that often hinder the peace process. And then it's time for us to focus on peace in Korea with the youth contribution. I think, thank you very much for your attention. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Doctor, for your experience and valuable insight. And I think I really agree that youth can make a powerful changes to the world despite everything that they're lacking. And then they're like a youth model like Malala Yousafzai and Greta Thunberg that already done the peace making or peace building. And then we'll move to the next session, which is a Q&A session. So if you guys still curious about something, feel free to raise your hand or write your question in the chat box and I will read it for you. And later, Dr. Pastreich, Dr. Ichsan, and Haley will answer your question. And first of all, I already received a question from Eko Priyono. So for Eko Priyono, please ask your question.
Yeah, I Mr. My question to Mr. Dr. Emanuel Pastreich. So, I can traditional Korean philosophy such and Confucianism contributed to peace building effort. And what are the biggest challenges implementing inclusive dialogue in the Korean conflict? And are there successful examples of culture exchange program that have improved inter-Korean relations? Thank you.
Thank you. I had a little bit of trouble understanding the last part. You had said about programs that have been successful for international for Korean cooperation between North and South. Did I understand that correctly?
Maybe I'll help you with that. So,
Please.
Echo ask if there is any successful example of cultural exchange program that have improved inter-Korean relation.
Oh, certainly. We have had in the past, there were, the most successful was the visiting, reuniting of separated family members, mothers and children, or brothers and sisters who had been separated from the Korean War on. There were cultural exchanges between students and artists and even writers between North and South Korea in the past. And there have been efforts in South Korea for dialogue between people from North Korea who are now living in South Korea for mutual understanding. However, we can do much more, and I certainly encourage you to do your best to encourage Koreans to increase the cultural exchanges between North and South. Sadly, it's become much more difficult over the last few years.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Pastreich, for your answer. And maybe we can move to the next question from Fikri Nufian Pratama.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for the presentation, Ms. Harley. I want to ask you some question about the presentation you have ready shown to us. The first question is one dream, one Korea enough to change the perception of the younger generation of North and South Korea towards the concept of reunification amidst growing cultural and economic difference? Because this Korea, the two Korea of South and North is supported by a different country, and it's about US and China and Russian country to support these two Korean. Is that any challenging to change the perception or not? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Fikri. Maybe this question will be given to Haley. Haley, could you please answer Fikri question?
Sorry, I was reading Reza Hasim's question while listening to Mr. Fikri. I think did I understand it right? Did Fikri ask about the the possibility because North and South Korea is supported by different countries and economic gap?
Okay, maybe I'd like to
Yeah.
help you. Actually, Fikri asked if there's any challenges when you do the One Korea, One Dream, One Korea campaign and movement. Is there any challenges that you face?
Yes and no, because this is really good question because we get it all the time. First, yes, because we still have to raise awareness of the unification and the importance of unification and peace in Korean Peninsula, because it has been more than 70 years since divided, maybe 80. 70, sorry, 70 years since divided after the armistice in 1973. It was a national wish. It used to be, but because of the repetitive flip and switch of the South Korean administration's policy to North Korea. And for example, last in 2018, there was seemed to be a momentum of reconciliation and peace summit with Kim Jong-un and President Moon Jae-in. But look at now, it's now another whole story. It's not. It's again a deterrence and whiplash. So a hard scenario. So young people started to lose interest. But what I tell them is that unification is not the matter of like or not like. It's not the matter of support and not support. It's gonna happen because the Kim dictatorship. Do you think the Kim regime will ever exist with the suppressing and killing all the North Korean regular people other than Pyongyang citizens? Because Pyongyang citizens, they are very there's some sort of royal people who are loyal to Kim regime, but outside Pyongyang, Kim Jong-un doesn't give a damn about people living outside Pyongyang. This came from my North Korean friend who escaped from North Korea. So the first problem is it's gonna happen anyhow. So who has to be ready? Young people should be ready. And of course, the government politicians should also be ready, but regular people, we have to build consensus about this issue. So that's one. So maybe yes, it's a little bit difficult, but no, not really a challenge because of the reasons why I mentioned. And what I really think is all the time, I go to Korea University, I'm a PhD student, and I take classes like the security, US-RK Alliance. But what I do feel a little sorry for the politicians and all the scholars is that if some people who don't really see unification possible, they blame the environment. For example, China will not support us. United States will be less interested in the Korean issue more than the Taiwan and China issue. But I really do think, sorry, my answer is getting longer, but I really do think if we're Korean, if we're the people who love peace and if we have vision that is Korean dream vision, we have to find the way. And also when it comes to the economic gap, listening to those people who think it's gonna be a financial disaster, what their calculation is tend to be it will be a failure according to their calculation. But the calculation and policies. We already seen, for example, we've already seen Marshall Plan. Just an example, United States supported Europe after World War II, and also imagine North Korea, if it's opened up, the economy is opened up, then the investors, there are so many monies looking for the investment. Yeah, so imagine the route is open, the route to China and the Eurasian continent is opened. Do you think only South Korean people should cover the expenses with tax? No, it will be a huge investment and it will be a huge economic boom. So my point being, I really hope South Korean stop being on coward and step outside and spread the vision of Korean dream and work on this raising awareness and the positive plan and wish for the peace for East Asia and also around the world. That's sorry, it was too long. Thank you.
Okay, can I add something? Yeah, Puspita?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay, Kylie. Thank you for your explanation. And
Yeah. I would,
Dr. Ichsan wanna
yeah.
add something? All right.
Yeah, to underline something. Yeah. Yeah. In the reality, yes, there is the gap, in the economic gap between South and North, and also still the political issues, between North and but we consider the possibility in cultural, right? In cultural, uh, we are talking about the humanity, but in politic and economic, we are talking about the interest, about the power, about the market, but something like that. That's why the possibility is coming from the cultural approach, cultural initiative is very important, because in peace process we can see that we have track one, it is elite and more politic, and track two in the middle, and also track three, it is people to people or more cultural approach. That's why I think I'm really support the initiative from Global Peace Foundation, and also the method and also the approach. Cultural approach is very, very important for North and South. But with the political approach or economic approach, so many gaps, so many harsh are there, so many problems, so many issues. That's why our we try to movement from below, and then maybe after that we can see that the possibility in political and also the economic issue. It is my I add something to Kim. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you for your insight, Dr. Ichsan. And maybe we'll add one more question, which is the last question from Shaifullah. Okay. But could you please make it short and directly asking to Dr. Ichsan Malik, maybe?
All right. First, I like to say thank you for the opportunity that is given. In this meantime, there are huge gap on economic between North Korea and South Korea. That's why in the best scenario of which Korean reunification happen, how can South Korea overcome the huge economic divide with North Korea without causing an economic crisis similar to the unification of Germany in 1990? Thank you very much.
Yeah. For me, that's right, Puspita, yeah. I'm agree with Saiful. At that time, also between the West Germany and the East Germany, still gap in economic. And the youth also, I think the youth also in Korea see the gap, the economic gap, and also the political gap. But because of the river with the long and break, I mean we need novelty, we need the creativity to achieving peace. It is impossible achieving peace without the creativity. That's why we try with the youth initiative. We try to push the peace process from the below, from the with the cultural approach, because cultural approach is more soft, but economic and politics more harder, something like that. It is harder, and then that's why with the cultural approach, with the people to people reconciliation, maybe starting with meeting between the middle school from the Seoul and Pyongyang. Maybe in the military zone to meet each other and to discuss something like that is very important. Yeah, because in the cultural approach, we are talking about the humanity. The peace process, the peace objective is how to push the human become the human again. Because in the conflict situation, we are not a human. We are not become the human. That's why the humanity is very important. For me, it is the really the really opportunity, because we can see that the gap in economic and political. That's my answer, Puspita.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ichsan. And maybe Dr. Pastreich or Haley would like to add something to that answer? No?
Maybe yes.
All right, let's go ahead.
There's so many things I would like to share, but first, the most commonly used rhetoric is that North Korean, they have people and resources. South Korea, we have technology and capital. And the geographically, it's the peninsula, and we have many ports that can be a very good platform, a economic hub that can serve as a economic hub for, Pacific region and Asia continent link. So sorry, my English. And that is one. And South Korea is currently spending 10% of the I'm not sure if it's a GDP or the whole budget, national budget, but 10% of something, really huge amount on national defense. So I don't think we can automatically just like that reduce the national defense expenses right after unification, but I think there can be some balance. So what I'm trying to say is it's not gonna be a catastrophic it's not going to be a catastrophe if again, if Korean people, if we have support from international society and Korean people, if we are ready and if we have enough consensus, then it will be a blessing. But if not, if we are not ready, then it can be a tragedy. So yeah, we should really learn from other cases, Vietnam unification, Germany reunification. Yeah. Good.
Okay, thank you, Haley, for your add-on. And maybe that will be all for the Q&A session. But I would like to appreciate Dr. Emanuel Pastreich, Dr. Ichsan Malik, and Hailey for taking the time to answering their question. And maybe I would like to have one more person to share their takeaway from today's presentation and Q&A session. Is there anyone who would like to say takeaway from today's? Or maybe we can have Matthias, who raised their hand before.
Yes, thank you very much. I think I want to ask a questions about the Korean people in China and the Truman Rivers, because this dream of Dr. Kim about the Germans reunifications, which is Korea is not only two, right? And it's because there is a Europeans, the one who helped the Germans to become part of one German, part of one Europeans. But in Asia, there is no such a unification of Asia. So I don't think those dreams are gonna work out when it comes to the political. But in China, there is a tool. They call it the civilization tool, global civilization, where this approach by languages, by civilizing the Koreans, to find the common roots among all these area, whether this is gonna be also a dream, a new dream, instead of just thinking of this rivalry between the greater, like in German reunification. I don't think it's gonna work. I mean, it's not only the only approach, right? Maybe can find the other approach. I just want to ask to those experts. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Matthias, before that, but we actually short on time and would like to let you give a takeaway instead of a question. Could you please say something as a closing statement, maybe?
My closing statement is interesting. These global movements that are starting from South Korea, and then all the presentations are very, very, very good. This is maybe because this is not this has been doing quite sometimes, right? Through universities, through exchange students. I think this movement, this talk is gonna be thumbs up.
Okay, thank you, Matthias. I'm sorry that we cannot answer your question right now, but maybe you guys, Matthias and the other who still have their question, can ask Dr. Ichsan, Dr. Pastreich, and Haley personally, or maybe in their social media. And I would like to say thank you once again to our speaker and our amazing enthusiasm from participant. And we'd like to move to the next session again, and I would like to ask Silo as the MC. I'll give it to Silo back. Thank you all.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for our moderator and also for all the speakers today. And we have now reached an important part of our program. So the recognition of our speakers. So it's my pleasure to present Certificate of Appreciation to our esteemed speakers who share their valuable insight with us today. So the first certificate is going to Ms. Inglera. Here we provide certificate symbols for you. So thank you so much for your insightful information and insightful knowledge today. So we are really enjoy with your discussion. So next we are going to Mr. Emanuel Pastreich. So this is your certificate. So thank you so much for your insightful knowledge and your information about your topic.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Right, so we are going to the third speaker. So Haeryoung Kim. So thank you so much for your great presentation,
Iya,
and
jam 3 pas. Ayo, Pak Dar, mulai.
also this is your certificate. Here we provide certificate symbols for you. So thank you so much. Have a nice day. So good luck for your everything. Right. So this is a certificate for Dr. Ichsan Malik. Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful discussion with all the participants, and can't wait to see you in person.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So right. So that's all our recognition for all the speakers. And thank you to all speakers for your contribution and for inspiring us to work towards of culture peace. Now we would like to capture this moment with a visual photo. So please, everyone, turn on your cameras and smile. Right? Please allow me to guide you. So when I will say 1, 2, 3, you can give your best pose. So please turn on your camera and right. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Again, other style. 1, 2, 3. Okay, freestyle. 1, 2, 3. All right, so that's enough. Thank you so much for everyone. Thank you so much for all the speakers, especially, and also our gorgeous moderator today, Kiran, for your guiding us today. And thank you for your participation during the event today. So please don't leave our meeting yet, since we still have the last like quiz session with the prize for the winner. So don't go anywhere, because I think it's time to get the gift after our discussion today. So before that, I think for the next session, I will deliver to Kiran again to join us. She will tell us about One Korea global campaign. Without further ado, the floor is yours.
Okay, maybe the games will be postponed after I say something about the One Korea Global campaign.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, I'll still wait for the presentation. Maybe Kak Arif can help me with the presentation. Okay, so everyone, regarding the topic that we do today about the Korean Samiljeol, Korean peace, and then as Haley said before, as Ingill said before, there is this One Korea global campaign that's actually happening around the world, and I would like to have your support on this petition. So it's a online petition that you can just scan the QR code below or that show in your laptop, and then you can enter your identity and then just send enter. It show that you have your support toward the One Korea campaign. We'll wait for you until you fill in the link. Please support us on this One Korea global campaign so we can have the One Korean dream, which is the Korean reunification in the future. The link for the petition already in the chat box too. So it's easier for you to go through the petition. Okay, we'll still have 1 minute left, so you guys can sign the petition. Please wait, everyone. I know you guys have to buy takjil for berbuka nanti, but yeah, please bear with us. And we still have the Kahoot session. What you guys want to have the prizes? We have 3 prizes for the top podium on Kahoot. For everyone who listen carefully to the presentation and the Q&A session may get the chance to win the Kahoot games. And after that, we'll have the attendance form. So please wait until the end of the session. Thank you. Okay. It's time for me to say goodbye again. I'll give it back to Sil.
All right, thank you, Kiran, and thank you everyone for your support. And we're going to thank you, Kirana, for telling us about the campaign. Now we are excited to bring some fun into our program with an interactive quiz session. This will be a great way to engage with the themes of our seminar while enjoying some friendly competition. So I will guide you through the questions and keep track on the score. And here, exciting incentive. The winner of this quiz will receive special merchandise for the Global Peace Foundation in Indonesia, which will be sent directly to your home. So let's get ready to test our knowledge and have some fun. This quiz will be held in Kahoot, and so please scan the QR code and fill in the code that shows. All right, so everyone, are you ready? So if you are ready, please give me like the direction. All right, we're still waiting. Well, we are still waiting. So it's 100 up. So are you still struggling to connect with our games today? All right, so it's time to start our game. So are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right, so we're moving to another questions. All right, Jungkook. Wow, that's good. Right, we are moving to another questions. Right, so the correct answer is correct. So let's see who will be the first. Okay, the next questions. What simple things can we do to support Korean reunification? All right, so the next question. Which side support South Korea during the Korean War? Let's see which one is the correct answer. In Soviet Union or Indonesia or United States? All right, United States will be the first rank. Muhan, okay, so we are going to the next questions. True and false. So you have to choose which one is the correct answer, is true or false. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct. All right. Muhan, that's good. So the next question is, who is not one of the speakers today? All right. Can you imagine which is the correct answer? I think it's the wrong answer. Who is not one of the speakers today? All right, Kirana. Rapunzel, right? That's the highest achievement. So the next question is, which side support North Korea during the Korean War? I think it's a repetition, but it's okay. You can see it again. I still remember. All right. Right. We are going to the next question. Which of the following is not a value upheld by the Global Peace Foundation in Indonesia?